Good morning, everybody. Welcome back through installment of Scott's Selections here for Friday, December 30th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a nice easy winner with Washington +3 at -105 on DraftKings. Really never in doubt. Washington never trailed in the game. They led the entire second half and they won the game by 7. So never in doubt, look for another winner here on Friday. And for today's play of the day, going to go back to college football, looking at the Orange Bowl between Tennessee and Clemson, taking place at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this matchup, going to take Clemson -5.5 at -115 on FanDuel. Time recording of 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like Clemson in this spot. First reason, looking at Tennessee this season, we know that their success started and ended with the offense, which was the best offense in all of college football, statistically speaking, as Tennessee averaged 45.7 points per game against FBS competition, which ranked first in the nation. However, Tennessee will be very shorthanded on the offensive side of the ball, which should result in Tennessee struggling throughout this game offensively, at least compared to what they did during the regular season. So to go through Tennessee and who they're missing on the offensive side, we already know about Hendon Hooker, their star quarterback who tore his ACL against South Carolina, had 3,100 plus passing yards, 27 passing touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. Also had 430 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. So he had 32 total touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and he is not playing because of injury. Now you have Joe Milton behind center, who, if you watch him in Michigan, you know he's not very good. I think the drop-off is huge between Hooker and Milton. Plus, we know that Tennessee had arguably the best wide receiver in all college football this season with Jalen Hyatt, who won the Blitnikoff Award because of it, had 1,267 receiving yards and 15 receiving touchdowns. He opted out. You also have wide receiver Cedric Tillman, who had 417 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. He opted out as well. They're also missing their offensive coordinator and Alex Golish, who ended up taking the head coaching job at South Florida. So Tennessee, a lot of people love because of the offense and the pace they play at. The issue is with a backup quarterback and a bunch of backup wide receivers and a new coordinator or temporary coordinator. I think Tennessee's offense is really in line for a lackluster performance here, which makes them a bit overvalued in this spot. But to look at the other factors here, Tennessee's defense will be a little bit compromised too, as linebacker Jeremy Banks opted out. 53 tackles, which was the third most on the roster. But Tennessee's defense overall this season has been okay, statistically speaking. But against really good offenses, they really have not played well. They gave up 27 to Georgia, which is fine. But they gave up 63 to South Carolina, gave up 49 to Bama. So we've seen them against good offenses or elite offenses, and they really have not looked great. And I think Clemson should look a lot better offensively because they had a couple of transfers or a couple of opt-outs. But the main one was their original starting quarterback, Uiagalelei, who ended up transferring, and now you have Klubnik behind center. I feel like everyone knows that Uiagalelei was not very good this season, and he was kind of holding Clemson back. The only person who didn't realize that was Dabo, but Klubnik was really good in the ACC title game against North Carolina as he led Clemson to 39 points, and Clemson ended up dominating from start to finish. So I do think Clemson's offense is a bit undervalued here because their offensive numbers all season long are based off of Uiagalelei starting as opposed to Klubnik. But Klubnik in that title game, in that conference title game, went 20 of 24 for 279 and 1 touchdown. And he also had a rushing touchdown. So he was really good. And I do think with Tennessee's defense missing one of their better linebackers and based on their overall season against good offenses, I think Tennessee's defense is a bit overrated. And I think Tennessee's offense is really overrated based on how many people opted out or won't be available for this game. But Clemson will be missing a couple of pieces here on defense. They still have a good overall unit. A missing linebacker, Trenton Simpson, who opted out, and defensive end Miles Murphy. And both of them are very good players, but I do think Clemson is deep enough against a compromised offense to really dominate defensively. And if you also want to look at Clemson's what they excel at the most, it was rush defense this season, as Clemson allowed just 99 rushing yards per game against FBS competition, which ranked 8th in the nation. Now, Tennessee did beat Vandy in blowout fashion. Joe Milton did nothing in the entire game. They just ran the ball down Vandy's throat. So if Clemson's able to stop the run, and if they force Milton to beat them with their arm, I will gladly take that gamble. I really don't think Milton's that good of a quarterback. And to go through Dabo's historical numbers in bowl games, he's been really good at motivating his guys for bowl games. Dabo is 12-6 ATS in bowl games in his career. That's ATS. So I do think that Dabo should be able to get his team ready to roll. I think with Klubnik getting the nod here, the offense should look very comfortable with basically no opt-outs on offense. And I do think Tennessee will struggle from start to finish. Clemson might kill them in this game. It really wouldn't surprise me if Tennessee kind of no-shows the game with their current issues on offense and potentially on defense against Klubnik. But I do think 5.5 is a little bit too low. And I think Clemson should win this game by at least 7 points. Play that once again here for Friday, December 30th is going to be on Clemson -5.5 at -115 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.